Now, passing away of Bapu, the passing away of Bapu which I was teaching you, I am resuming today. Back in Delhi, I felt at sea. I had not directly walked with Gandhiji, gone to prison at his call, or made any sacrifice for my country. My sisters and I, and other young people like me, had been merely onlookers, but I still felt at sea. Here, Nanda Sehgal is referring to the reaction or aftermath of Gandhiji's or Bapu's death in her personal life. What is she saying? She's saying she came back in Delhi from Allahabad. I felt at sea. Now, what does the word at sea means? At sea is an idiom. It means confused. That means she was feeling confused because that is something which happens when we lose a near and dear one of our families, say a father. With the loss of a father, we generally feel confused. That means we generally feel at sea. The same thing happened with Nanda Sehgal and in fact with the entire country. I had not directly walked with Gandhiji. Now here Nanda Sehgal makes a frank confession that she did not directly work with Gandhiji. That means she was not directly involved with Gandhian politics. Gone to prison at his call, she directly did not join him at his non-cooperation movement or the various movements that Gandhiji had launched. She did not go to prison at his call or made any sacrifice for my country. She did not make any sacrifice either. What does the word sacrifice mean? Sacrifice means giving away something, someone's own life, etc. for a noble cause. So if you give yourself something for a noble cause, then it's called a sacrifice. She did not sort of make any sacrifice for Gandhiji's call for India. She is making a frank expression. We did not make any sacrifice for my country. My sisters and I. Now, what was their role in Gandhiji's life? She's saying, my sisters and I and other young people like me have been merely onlookers. Now, here she is clearing her role. What was her role? Her role was basically that of an onlooker. What does the word onlooker mean? Onlooker means one who sees, who looks at something. We are all onlookers in a sense. So she was a merely onlooker to Gandhi or on Gandhi. But still I felt at sea. Now that was Gandhi's immense influence. Though she was not directly involved with Gandhian politics, or she directly did not probably come in close contact with Gandhiji, but Gandhiji's death left a deep impact even in the lives of the people, the common people, like say Nanda Sehgal. So even though she did not involve in Gandhian politics, Gandhi's death left her also perplexed or confused. I felt I had grown up within a magic circle. Now here, Nanda Sehgal is making another confusion. What is she saying? She's saying that she has grown up with a magic circle. What does the word magic circle mean? The magic circle literally means a circle that is created by magic. That means here magic circle refers to the circle, or rather a constellation, C-O-N-S-T-E-L-L-A-T-I, constellation of great minds and great people. When a great people surround someone, it's called a magic circle. Now why is Nanda Sehgal saying all these things? She's saying all these things because she is referring to the fact that she was fortunate enough to be surrounded by all the great minds of the then India, the who's who, the political big fishes of Indian politics. Nanda Sehgal saw them from close quarters, and she was almost surrounded by those people. That's why she's saying that she was surrounded by a magic circle. With Bapu's passing away, that means with Gandhiji's death, I felt the magic circle had vanished. Now Gandhiji was someone who almost hogged the limelight in that magic circle. She was the central figure, and she was almost like the star, the sun, around whom all the other stars, or all the planets rather, they sort of revolved. Now with Gandhiji's passing away, Nanda Sehgal says the magic circle had simply vanished. That means the circle was no longer there. With Gandhiji's death, the circle had simply vanished. The magic of Gandhiji was simply vanishing. It simply vanished, leaving me unprotected. Now this magic circle, this can sort of give one a kind of sense of security. But with Gandhiji's death, this sense of security was also lost. Why? As we know, Gandhiji was considered the Bapu, or the father of the nation. So his death literally brought a sense of sort of loss of security or insecure feeling in the minds of the Indians, and that was the feeling that Nanda Sehgal has when Bapu dies, and that's why she's saying that the magic circle being vanished, it simply left me unprotected. That means Nandita Sehgal, like other common or average Indians, was also feeling insecure or unprotected, as we feel when we lose our father or mother or someone elder who give us protection. Bapu was giving them protection. So with Bapu's death, the people, they literally became or felt unprotected and insecure. Now, the penultimate paragraph. With an effort, I roused myself. So, that was the deep impact of Bapu's death in Nandita Sehgal's life. She was almost overwhelmed and bowed down or weighed down with the shock of Bapu's death. What did happen to her? She was almost wizened. That means she was almost bent down with grief. With an effort, I roused myself. She was crestfallen. Now, somehow, she was trying to rouse herself. I asked myself. Now, that was the impact. That is something that happens in crisis. When do we deliberate? When do we think deeply? We think deeply when there is a crisis in our life. So, during the loss of some great person or some near and dear one, we generally engage in deliberation. That means we ask ourselves many questions. Here the same thing is happening with Nandita Sehgal. She is asking herself the question. What question? Many questions. She is asking herself. Had Bapu lived and died for nothing? So why is Bapu's death leaving her so perplexed, so confused? Does not that mean that Bapu's death or Bapu's life in fact was insignificant? Did he leave no legacy behind him? So why are they feeling confused? That's the question that almost haunted Nandita Sehgal. She is saying, had Bapu lived and died for nothing? That means, did not Bapu leave some ideal for us? Are we not there to live with that ideal? Probably the answer is yes. So the assertion is implied within the question. That means no, Bapu had lived and died for many things, for ideals, and now we have to live with those ideals left by Bapu. So what if Bapu is no longer there? His ideals are with us. How could I so easily lose courage? So she is sort of resolving and sort of determining that she is not going to lose courage when she was no longer there. So if Bapu is not there, the world will still continue and she has to live. So she cannot simply give away living. She has to live and she has to be determined. She has to gather courage. She should not lose courage. That means in Bapu's absence. My values were not so weak. Now that is something which we feel or experience when we are in crisis. Do we live with a value? Actually, what values we are with, it becomes sort of evident when we are in some crisis. Values make us alive in crisis. That's an interesting and an aphorism. That means a truth in life. So Nandita Sehgal is saying that my values were not so weak. That means I had values, I had ideals. So they are going to keeping me alive. Millions of people would have been ordinary folk, but for Bapu, millions of people, they would have been ordinary folk. But Bapu was sort of a great man for all of them. He brought them out of indifference. Now what is Nandita Sehgal saying? Nandita Sehgal saying is that he was the man who brought them out of indifference and awakened them to one another's suffering. That means Bapu gave them the consciousness of each other's suffering. That was the fellow feeling that was absent among the Indian people when Bapu was not there. But that was Bapu's one of great contribution to our politics, to our sort of called mass politics. Or that is the great contribution of Bapu. What did he do? Now, keep it in mind, and I should say, you should concentrate your focus here. What is Nandita Sehgal saying? Nandita Sehgal is saying no small thing. She's saying that what was Bapu's contribution? Bapu sort of brought out of them indifference. That was people, we did not have fellow feeling for each other. We were indifferent to each other's suffering. But Bapu gave us that fellow feeling and make us aware of each other's suffering. That means the people and them to one another's suffering. So people became aware of each other's suffering. So that's what Bapu did with the people. That's why people felt so grief with Bapu's loss. He was literally a father of the nation. What if now Bapu is gone? So Bapu is not there. But Bapu will not be there. In fact, no one can live forever. So Bapu has to depart, or he has to die at some point of time. Then what will happen to us? shall we not live? We have to live. And we have to live with Bapu's ideals. So what if now Bapu is gone? So Bapu is not there. So what? We have to live with his ideals. We were still there. Now that's the assertion. We were still there, young, strong and proud to bear his banner before us. Now that is the resolution that Nandita Sehgal is taking, that even if Bapu is not with us, we are there to hold the banner of Bapu in front of us, because Bapu is going to live with us in the next generation, in the younger generation who is going to rule India in future. So who says Bapu is not alive? Bapu is very much within us, and we shall live for Bapu. Bapu will live among us. That's the message that Nandita Sehgal is giving for the young people of India. Bapu had passed away, but his India would continue to live in his children. That's what I am saying. Bapu has passed away, true, but he will relive in us. He will sort of, like Christ's resurrection, he will be resurrected in our spirit. He will be in us, and he will live forever with us, among us. So we shall live with Bapu's ideal, Bapu's values, and Bapu shall live with us, among the young people, among the young Indians who will hold Bapu's ideal, will uphold Bapu's ideal, and will make India progress in future. Now that's the message with which this particular prose ends.